Was crack ceiling that's close by.
I feel like historically they've always done it for us,
They have.
but
You know,
again, it's not.
I don't
this.
know that anybody else does because like the concrete people don't, and
I think the only other one, there's one, I think
does
in
River
Fort
City do it?
Dodge.
I don't think so.
I don't think River City does.
So like when we're doing asphalting and it can be Kleesner or River City, we definitely do, but I was under the impression that maybe crack ceiling is only the one in our area.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're,
Yep. No, we try to
I
be.
think it's still a good question to ask.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll find out.
Thank you.
If there's nothing else, I need a motion on the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Delaney, second.
I'll second it.
Second by Gale. All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, we'll open a public hearing for fiscal year 2025 budget. I need a motion to go into public hearing.
I'll make a motion to go into public hearing.
Motion by Roush,
I'll second it.
second by Gale. Roll call.
Gale.
Aye.
Delaney.
Aye.
Oliphant.
Aye.
Roush.
Aye.
Hush.
aye.
Do you want to close the public hearing since there's no public, or unless the council has questions? We've gone over this a number
we're
of
good.
times.
I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
Motion by Oliphant,
I'll second it.
second by Gale. Roll call.
Delaney.
Aye.
Oliphant.
Aye.
Roush.
Aye.
Hush.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Number 9, consideration of resolution number 41-24, fiscal year 2025 budget adoption.
Unless there's any questions, this is basically goes along with the public hearing that we had for taxes. Takes into account the debt that we plan to incur in May, library project, highway project. I think one of our last kind of workshops that we had, we didn't have those two big project numbers in there, but I worked with both engineers to make sure that we try to time the pavements as best as we could with which would be paid by June or which would be paid by after July. So.
Any questions? If none, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Gale, second.
Second.
Second by Oliphant. Roll call.
Oliphant.
Aye.
Roush.
Aye.
Hush.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Delaney.
Aye.
Number 10, consideration of resolution number 43-24, fiscal year 2025 wages.
The next three items are a result of two different personnel committee meetings. This is the amount that was budgeted at 4%, and that's everybody's either hourly or salaried amount with that 4% increase. So if there's no questions,
Any
it's
questions?
the recommendation of the committee.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Oliphant,
I'll second.
second by Roush. Roll call.
Roush.
Aye.
Hush.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Delaney.
Aye.
Oliphant.
Aye.
Number 11, consideration of resolution number 44-24, hourly police shift differential pay.
Again, an idea that the Personnel Committee had for hours between 3 PM and 7 AM, which is a common time that you see a shift differential. Some communities that have actual second and third shift officers will sometimes have second shift be slightly lower than third shift, but the recommendation of the committee is the $1.50 for any hours for hourly full-time officers, which is essentially Brad.
How many hours do we typically have for part-time?
For part-time?
Yeah.
It's kind of been a little, excuse me, I'm kind of losing my voice. It's kind of been a little bit hard to get some part-time people here because of scheduling and everything. Trying to remember what we had budgeted. I think it ends third full-time position between the two. So,
Well, we budget 20,000, but we don't spend anywhere close to that.
yeah.
We could spend a couple $1,000s the last few years since I've been here.
And
Like
hopefully,
literally $2,000 or $3,000.
and hopefully part of the reason for this too is like, you had mentioned that where like some of the other communities were,
Mhm.
and we felt like this was a good way to hopefully bring us more in line with some of the other communities.
So we're actually having problems getting people?
Getting part-time people? Yeah, I know Lee's, as of the 22nd, his hours changed, so he's gonna be available more every other weekend, so the weekends at Brad's off. Coletta had some issues where her full-time job was kind of a little bit more demanding, and now that's kind of backing off a little bit, so it's gonna kind of hopefully work out. that as we're going into some of these summer events, these two are a little bit more available also. But it's just hard to find part-time people at this point, so.
We have not advertised since I've been here for any part-time officers, however. So to say, I think we have issues with the current ones and their availability, but we haven't done anything to advertise.
There's just not a lot out there right now. So,
But if we don't advertise, nobody.
talking to
Might
other
know.
chiefs are in the same issue, and it's just, like I said, it's just hard to find people that, have a full-time job and can work a few hours here and there.
Is there a lot, and I apologize that I don't know the answer to this, Fred, but is there a lot to do to get somebody up to speed to be a part-time officer here?
What we try to do is, what we've kind of done in the past is get somebody that's already certified working in a full-time position.
Sure.
If we get somebody started that, let's say we hire somebody as a part-time officer and they're no longer, or they're not certified, we still have to send them to the academy. And there is a part-time academy that they can go to, but that takes a very long time.
How long is the part-time?
Well, regular academy's what, 16?
16 weeks is a full-time academy. The part-time academy can take them probably up to 2 years, depending upon where the classes are that they're going to. Blackhawk up in Waterloo does some of those. That's probably about the closest it would do a
That they
part-time
do.
academy. So-
But with the office, or with the hours that we offer, we can advertise that we're only accepting applications for current certified officers.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't have to say that we'll pay somebody to go to school.
Yeah. I mean, it's been word of mouth that we've got part-time people, so. and
Do you think advertising would help?
It might. I think we're gonna get a lot of people that are gonna wanna be sponsored to go to the academy. And if we sponsor somebody, they have to pay their academy costs, but we have to have them on our roster. If we hire somebody that's not certified, we have to go through even certified, a new hire, you have to go through the fingerprint process, the background checks. It's kind of a process to go through before you can actually get them to that point.
Okay.
So, and then the training and everything that we would do in-house.
Could we do an advertisement that says something like, to Lisa's point, like they already need to have certification and then,
Yeah. We can give it a try. I mean,
It
it's worth a shot.
might be worth it.
Yep. Excuse me.
oh,
And then what other, there is other costs, so we'd have to buy a uniform.
Depending upon what utility gear they've got, duty belts, stuff like that, we do have some surplus stuff back there. Some uniforms, I think that's kind of how we started Coletta out, was we had some uniforms that would fit her, pants didn't fit, but the shirts did, so kind of saved us a little bit of money there. She had her own handgun, so we didn't have to furnish her with that,
We
so.
have to buy a vest.
What's that?
Vest.
She actually, when she left her department, she bought a bulletproof vest. And it kind of depends if they've left a department, if they've got one. Otherwise, yeah, a bulletproof vest is a little bit of an expense too. So that could be up to $1,000 just for the vest alone.
are those, do they expire?
After 5 years, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Used to be when I first started in law enforcement, you could send them back to the factory, they would recondition the vest and then send them back to you for a fee, which was a lot cheaper way to go. And then they quit reconditioning them, so every 5 years, you're supposed to get a new vest. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
If there's no other questions, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 44-24.
Motion by Roush,
Second.
second by Delaney. Roll call.
Hush.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Delaney.
Aye.
Oliphant.
Aye.
Roush.
Aye.
Number 12, consideration of resolution number 45-24, wage structure for water and sewer certifications.
Right now, we are actively pursuing some of the employees needing to go for additional certification. In the past, it seems that it's just been a case-by-case decision. And so I think personnel had discussed and the employees requested that there be a set wage for each of those. In the case of water, to be a completely certified grade 1, there's 2 tests. In the case of sewer, and in all grades, 1, 2, or 3. There's 2 tests on the water side, 1 on the sewer side. And so we've combined that to take 2 waters is half of, the total. So you can see there, the amounts match. In the case of 2, eventually we may have a grade 3, depending on if we ever have to get to water treatment. So right now Marty is grade 2, and Greg has, I believe it was in the month of March, passed his first water test, which was a treatment test. Phil is our level 3 sewer operator, and we must have a 3 to operate. So Ben is a 2, and we'd like Ben to, that's that extra $30 is that you have to apply to be eligible to take the test, and we're not sure if he will be eligible right away based on his experience, or if they'll make him take educational credits prior to being eligible to take the test. And so that's why we want to submit it. Ben and Phil and I worked on a list of trying to, you basically have to summarize everything that you've done. And so Phil definitely had to go back to school before he was allowed to take the test, but we also didn't have the grade 3 plant. And so we're hoping that because Ben has gotten to work alongside Phil for 7 years, since 2017 when the new plant went on, that maybe they will allow him to take it either sooner or with no more additional schooling. So
Thank you.
that's the recommendation of the Personnel Committee.
They're required learning of whatever, that's during during city time, or is that on their own? Or
You mean if he has to go to school?
Yeah.
I believe that we pay for their tuition, and some of their studies is on their own. Like, there's just no way to, like, if they had to always go to school and then not be working, like, they really wouldn't be able to function doing the jobs that they do. So my understanding is that when Phil took some of the classes that were at night, then he did it on his own, but we paid for the books, we paid for all that kind of stuff. So.
Thank you.
One thing I wrote down when I was going through this too, can we, so just to make sure we keep up on these, make sure like each tier is still a healthy level, maybe every 3 years if we can add a tickler for us to review that ordinance or something.
Yep. Good idea.
If there's nothing else, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Oliphant,
Second.
second by Hush. Roll call.
Gale,
Aye.
Delaney,
Aye.
Oliphant,
Aye.
Roush.
Aye.
Hush.
Aye.
Number 13, consideration of resolution number 42-24, providing for the issuance of $1,325,000 in general obligation corporate purpose bonds, Series 2024, and providing for the levy of taxes to pay same.
This is just the one last step. We'll be closing May 7th unless there's any questions.
Nothing, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Delaney,
I'll second.
second by Roush. Roll call.
Delaney,
Aye.
Oliphant,
Aye.
Roush.
Aye.
Hush.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Number 14, consideration of resolution number 48-24, fire EMS volunteer insurance coverage.
We were contacted by the insurance company from the expense of the premium. I probably could have proceeded to just go ahead and do it, but knowing that it creates, if there was ever a potential claim, then maybe that gives us a claim history. But if you look on pages 39 and 40, we currently have the lowest tier of basically what would be some level of compensation to an EMS or fire volunteer in our community if anything were to happen, if they were ever to be disabled, hurt in the line of duty. And so if you look, we have very minimal coverage in the column called the present plan, and then you have Plan 1 and Plan 2. So for an additional 900 and whatever I put in there, 900 and some odd dollars, I think for everything that we've kind of been going through with our EMS consultant, looking at the different things and trying to attract people, or at least give them some level of assurance that if anything were to happen to them, that they have some kind of coverage to kind of bridge the gap until they get better.
And it has to happen, is this covered like an umbrella, or is it only when they're doing,
Well, it's when they're doing work,
okay,
not like if you got hurt at home.
gotcha.
Yeah, no. This is in the line of duty.
Yep.
So my recommendation is to go with Plan 2.
This may not be very pertinent, but under death benefits, number F, seatbelt benefit and airbag benefit, what would that be?
I'm guessing if something happened while in the line of duty and they got into an accident and hard to think. I'm not sure.
If they had the seatbelt on, I bet they get
That's-
so
that's what I
much.
was- That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
And then if airbags are deployed probably.
That's what-
So they're gonna get more money if they follow those rules, basically. Although the race, I don't know. I can ask and then email the council.
No, I was just kind of
I do have a question though.
weird.
Mhm.
With us paying EMS,
They're still volunteers.
they'll still be considered volunteers, okay.
It's basically like if it's nominal and nothing that you could live off of. So even though it's a fairly decent hourly wage at the, 19 to 25, it's still, you could get 0 hours or 10 hours, so.
Yep.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion
Motion by Oliphant,
to go with number 2, Plan 2, sorry.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
second by Gale, roll call.
Oliphant,
Aye.
Roush.
Aye.
Hush,
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Delaney.
Aye.
Number 15, consideration of resolution number 46-24, fiscal year 24 transfers.
These are all the transfers on page 43 that were planned in the budget this year. We haven't made any changes. Kathy and I reviewed them and at this point believe that these are all still relevant. We do anticipate paying for the fire truck. That's one of the bigger ones. We do anticipate paying for the fire truck yet this fiscal year, so that would have been the only one that I was curious if it would have delayed past July 1.
Do we have a date of when that's supposed to be delivered?
Not exactly, but soon. It's supposed to be April.
I meet them,
What's
every-
April?
like, I meet fire trucks every day on the way to work, it feels like.
April of this
Like
year.
new ones that they're driving across the country, so I'm like.
Yeah, you're
One of those
doing
times
this.
it's gotta be ours.
Ours isn't coming that far, so it's still in Iowa. But they have gotten some updates, and when I said, like, they get the, is it still on time, and the original plan was April, so.
Riley, the next time you see one on the highway, turn around and follow them.
Yeah.
And
Try flagging them
See
down.
where you end
and let
up.
me know how that works out.
I'll call you a fire chaser.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Delaney,
Second.
second by Oliphant, roll call.
Roush.
Aye.
Hush,
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Delaney.
Aye.
Oliphant.
Aye.
Number 16, consideration of ordinance number 09-24, water services material used to replace right-of-ways, and this is the first reading.
The next two agenda items are the same explanation. So basically, since we have a concrete highway that's newer on the north side and are about to have one on the south side, there used to be some history where people were allowed with an older concrete road to put asphalt patches back in. And I would say that for now, we need to have a concrete patch put back. And so it's not clear. I think that we could have probably argued that, but we want to make sure that it's clear in the ordinance. And then I did add the unless otherwise pre-approved by the city. So if we got to a point where the highway was older and the concrete was deteriorating and we were getting ready to do a asphalt overlay like we did on First Avenue, where the asphalt goes over the concrete, then we could always decide to have them put asphalt. But for now, I think we want to make it clear that if you have an asphalt road, you put asphalt. If you have a concrete road, you put concrete.
And like First Avenue is both. So you do the concrete first and then you do asphalt.
I don't know if they make them do that.
They have in the past.
Yeah. I mean, that would be what's according to the code.
So you're saying like on First Avenue, they would put concrete first and then put an
Yeah.
overlay of asphalt?
That's right.
That's concrete underneath with asphalt overlay. Yep.
That's been the requirement anyway.
Right.
Just to make sure.
Again, just a
It applies
case
to
by
all.
case, if there was something really deteriorated or something, we could still do something different, but. So the reason there's two ordinances is the separate chapters for water or sewer, that we want to make sure it's listed, whether you have a water lateral repair or a sewer lateral repair.
Gotcha. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Delaney,
I'll second.
second by Roush, roll call.
Hush,
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Delaney.
Aye.
Oliphant.
Aye.
Roush.
Aye.
Number 17, consideration of ordinance number 11-24, building sewers and connections material used to replace right-of-ways. This is the first reading.
Same thing.
Same thing.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by
I'll second
Oliphant,
it.
second by Gale, roll call.
Gale.
Aye.
Delaney.
Aye.
Oliphant.
Aye.
Roush.
Aye.
Hush.
Aye.
Number 18, consideration of ordinance number 10-24, utility billing errors and adjustment policy.
We kind of conferred with our legal counsel to make sure that if there ever was an error in the billing, that we would be able to collect. They were comfortable saying that it wasn't that we didn't have a right, but by not having a policy, we're just not making it clear kind of what our parameters are. And so we consulted with the utilities law firm because our Lynch Dallas doesn't have an expert in utilities. And so, once we get through this, you'll actually see us reimbursing the utility for this bill. Basically, I just consulted with Lynch Dallas and they said, we just don't really do a lot of utility work. And I said, do you have a problem with me just going to, there's a Tim and Steve that both work at Ehlers and Cooney. They're the other kind of equal to Lynch Dallas, and they have those two experts for the utility. So he actually drafted this. And Lynch Dallas wasn't opposed to it. They just said, we're not used to writing them. I didn't think it made sense to pay them to do a lot of homework and come up with something that just was simpler to have them, and they turned this around in a day. And they're the ones that deal a lot with IMU and utility coverage. So basically this says, if there's an error, good or bad, up where we've overcharged someone or undercharged them, 3 years is gonna be our parameter. So that if it's longer than 3 years that something goes on, then either side loses, the plus or the minus, but for 3 years, you can go back and, again, sort of the same. You might try to do it in a lump sum depending on the amount, or you have the ability to make payment arrangements with them. And then I just put in, it also states in here that, if it has to do with our services, that I'll be included, as a representative, even though, and it also makes clear that CMU is our agent for all billing. And on the agenda, I forgot to list first reading, but I would suggest we just go through the regular 3 readings with this.
Thank you.
So this would be a first reading.
Has this been shared? I know when we discussed with CMU that we thought they needed to update something. and
They don't seem to think they do, so,
Okay.
but yeah, she reviewed them.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 1024.
Motion by Roush,
Second.
second by Hush. Roll call?
Delaney,
Aye.
Oliphant.
Aye.
Roush.
Aye.
Hush.
Aye.
Gale.
Number 19, consideration of resolution number 47-24 to change September council meeting from September 23rd to the 30th, 2024, and city administrator attendance at ICMA conference.
I put these together because it talks about in my contract budgeting for this conference, and then just making sure that I ask council, because there could be a year where we don't budget for it. So it would be attending that, and then that affects the September 23rd meeting. Just so happened that month there's 5 Mondays, so we'd either have the 3-week break before or after that meeting, so if it's okay. I'd like to attend and then switch the meeting.
Gives
So-
Riley more opportunity to still be here.
Exactly.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Oliphant,
I'll second it.
second by Gale. Roll call?
Oliphant.
Aye.
Roush.
Aye.
Hush.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Delaney.
Aye.
Number 20, clarification on a uniform allowance for public works employees.
So I just want to be clear based on our conversation. You'll recall that at the time that we approved a change to the uniform allowance, it was 2 guys were going to go with getting rid of the uniforms and having their own clothes, and 2 guys were staying with the uniforms. After that happened, the uniform company came back and said, we're not going to supply you uniforms if you don't sign a 3-year contract. So I gave the 2 who wanted the uniforms the option, do you want me to sign this contract? They were like, absolutely not. And then they thought, oh, we'll just go to another company. Well, that's just the way they all are. You're not going to get people to bring you uniforms and draw, sew patches on without a contract. And so the other 2 guys just said, never mind, get rid of the uniforms for all of us. And when we first, again, the first 2 that kind of fell into let me buy my own uniform that the council approved, they were good with wearing T-shirts and sweatshirts. The other 2 want to be able to have kind of more of a uniform shirt. They've bought them themselves. I said until I clarify with council that you're okay with that $750, we would still, you remember we had $750, the focus was pants. And then we said that we'd buy a T-shirt or a sweatshirt for them to be able to have those, because the whole thing was logos. So what I'd like it to be is that my recommendation, or unless the council says no, the $750, whether they buy jeans or a longer sleeve shirt for either of those two, still comes out of the $750. And then if they do buy their own shirts, you know, like some of them they've found on Amazon or whatever that have the safety reflection on them, then we'll have the logo put on. So like I sent Phil's already and had planned either way to have the logo put on, but I just want to make sure that you're okay. That $750 for uniforms is okay. Like the wording in the resolution did not say pants, but I knew that everybody thought that that money was going for pants. And so does anyone care as long as they have the same dollar amount? If it's $500 in pants and $250 in shirts, does anyone care?
I'm fine.
Nope.
Is this yearly?
Yes. Everybody okay with that then? All right, so Marty had turned in some bills, so we'll send in both of their shirts bills through the next council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reports, Police Chief, Fred? Nothing? Library furniture?
We have a meeting coming up next week to kind of go over again, sort of where we're at. We're getting further. This will be our third meeting, kind of talking more. Hopefully we'll start getting prices on the different things. The fundraising committee met and we're starting to kind of make sure we know like who's assigned to what area of recognition. Of course, when we did the second tier of bidding, there were a couple of things that people had sponsored or at least chosen to have be their namesake area that went away. So we kind of needed to make a few adjustments, like the outdoor children's patio, for example. One of the donors had that, so there's no outdoor patio anymore. So the fundraising committee did that and kind of made a list of a few more people to donate.
City Administrator?
We have Cougar Pride Day, so there's a lot of things that we've sent to the high school. So I know that Chad's daughter is one of the kids kind of orchestrating it, so they've been doing a good job checking in with everybody. So ahead of time, we'll thank them for the things that they're going to be doing. You might see them out painting fire hydrants. They're going to kind of start over by the school. We've gotten them red paint, a lot of garbage areas, picking up sticks, helping Monica with mulch. One of the things that Shirley and I had been working on was she really wanted to try to figure out, you know, important to Shirley is stormwater. And so there was a rain garden idea that she had. She had a number of ideas that she thought would work. She invited the DNR, and they came and met with us last week. And the 3 areas that we thought would be approved are not, because the garden that we would make is not big enough. But you may see the kids are going to help Shirley tomorrow, right by the chemical building across from Shirley's house, just to kind of do an experiment of what that'll look like. So the city is just purchasing the mulch and the bringing the compost from the free pile over there. And the kids are going to work with her. She's gotten plants from the garden club and things like that. So if you see that, that's what's going on. That's kind of a joint effort with her to kind of try and experiment with what that's doing. If you saw in the bills tonight, we had the $180,000 for Brian Bach. So we kind of went through that process of being eligible to get that payment. And you remember you advanced him the first 180. So now we have the full 360, which is why the other 180 was in the list of bills. So we're working on that. We did receive the street money. Remember, we applied for the $25,000 to help pay for Second Avenue. We have that. We applied for $79,000 from the CAC grant. We also submitted a large request from the foundation to bring those funds in now that we're paying for everything. The library project also, if you've driven past there, I think the goal is to have the foundation set, all the concrete in by Friday was the goal that Garling had for Rogers, who's the subcontractor for the concrete, so.
They did pretty good the last couple of days of the year, so.
The first 2 houses on Parkview, that little mini street that we approved, the first 2 houses are now sold. First one's already closed on, the second one closes on this week, and so we did receive the building permit for the second 2 houses today. So we're working on those. Other than that, I think we're good, unless anybody has any questions.
I have questions.
Riley?
I'll make it quick. Okay, so you mentioned the library. Do we need to start lining stuff up for the road improvements that and stormwater improvements?
That's all in the contract, it's just how we're paying for it.
Okay,
Is that what you mean, like Pier Street?
yes.
It's
Okay,
in the contract.
perfect.
The only thing that I said we'll approve through a change order once they start getting that paperwork to me, but the alley, like the one thing that wasn't in the contract, the alley's like trash, like it just looks bad. You know,
It's
everything's dug up and then
terrible.
they dug in there and then they hit Ross or sewer, so he had to fix stuff. And then if you look at the west end of that alley where you did the parking lot by the tap, you know, we kind of call it the parking lot by the tap room, the alley on that end is good. So we're definitely gonna have to add asphalt to get that whole thing. Like, it's gonna be like, oh, drive up to the book drop in a gravel, punchy
good.
old, so that'll be something. But Pierce Street, the angled parking, the cutout curb, and the original plans for storm, we do believe that once they got into one of the storms, which would be on the west side of Pierce, just north of Second Avenue, we're probably gonna have to add one more structure for stormwater. But again, it'll all be under that contract, so
Okay.
it's just a matter of changing stuff, but we're not bidding that separately.
Okay, perfect. And the second question I got is 136.
Pre-con this coming Thursday.
Okay.
We have it this week. And then we'll know more. I think they anticipate a May start. So they're just not answering any questions via informal conversations. We'll know more when they get here, so I can let you guys know as soon as,
What time's that Thursday?
I'll let you know.
Gotcha.
1:30.
It's on your email.
Funny.
You literally should have your
You were
right in
email
front of you.
invited. Bill, did you check that?
Okay, don't start with me.
Or just teasing. It's Thursday, I think 1:30.
1:30.
And here,
Anything else?
I have nothing else.
Okay. We have public comment. You have a limit of 3 minutes per person, only items on this agenda. Seeing none, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by
Second.
Oliphant, second by Delaney. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.